It's Off Exit 10, presented by Capital District Sport and Fitness.
I need to be interested in whatever they're doing.
Absolutely. Like, there's definitely I don't want to just sit there and have somebody because they have, over millions of followers and whatnot. And then I start talking to them. I'm like, wow, this is not.
And frequently, those are the most boring people. So it's like,
They can be.
Yeah. It's like, there's nothing much to talk
But
about.
this is a different medium, too. Because, we'll get into it. Because you always have used social media for whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And everything's quick with TikToks and with Reels. And that's right. I mean,
those are ripping right now.
That's what you're doing.
Going nuts.
That's what you're doing. But to me, this is a different medium than that.
Right.
This is long form. Are they different audiences that like this versus people that can just get sucked into an algorithm of Reels?
Yeah, I think for me personally, when you're growing a brand and like, okay, that makes sense. When you're growing a brand.
Oh, yes. Good,
okay,
good mic
perfect.
adjustment.
When you're growing a brand, that's how you get them into your funnel. No, I look at everything as funnels now. Like, hit them with a reel that gets 100,000, 200,000 views. Then they'll check out your page. They'll float around. Oh, look, there's a podcast. It's like you can do it, as you guys have done, grow a following through a podcast. But what I do is just I go very, very, very broad with my content, get as many people onto my page as possible, and then either monetize them or push them to other mediums like a podcast.
Yeah, the funnel is a good analogy because I guess when you're selling a product online, you want somebody right into your funnel because they could be how many clicks away from inquiring or making a purchase even.
Yeah, exactly. And like if you can communicate the product, you can make money off the product.
Right.
So it's just about getting them onto your page, and people they're not gonna come to your page and then check out. It's like the 7th time they come to their page, then they check out. They're familiar with you. It's like marketing is asking the girl out, which is all the views of a reel, and branding is them saying yes. That's them being on your page for 7 or 8 times, seeing them. Maybe you roll with similar people, seeing what you're up to. Then they check out because of the brand.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like how we use social. Is that if people can go on our pages or they search online, they should have a pretty good idea about what they're going to get when they come in here, what we're about, what our personalities are like, to make when we have to close a membership sale that much easier.
Yeah.
Because they know they're coming in here and they're already probably a good fit and they know what they're going to get. So our chance of closing is that much higher.
And that definitely really probably plays into what you guys are doing, the social media aspect. Oh, if I go there, maybe I'll be on their social media. That stuff really matters.
Kids like that.
Oh,
Kids love
big
that.
time, bro.
Yeah.
Big time.
I would
Even
guess
some adults love it too. Like, there's
Low key.
Like, there's adults
yeah.
that are like, yo.
Yeah.
And then like you don't realize it, and then all of a sudden you do it, and they get real excited, and you're like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah. So when did you? Okay, because when we talked last, we were just talking off air. It was 2 years ago,
Yeah.
2 summers ago. You were you were doing your real estate thing still, right?
Yep.
So were you still doing like apartments in the city, or were you more just
I
doing
was
your?
transitioning out of that and then acquiring a lot of assets in upstate New York. And I mean, now that's just, again, that's why I'm like, let me jump back on and rewrite this story a little bit, because it's just a completely different, like the blue nails.
I was like,
Dude, okay, I saw your story online. That's for a friend, right?
Yeah. But
because I wasn't, you didn't have blue nails last time.
No, dude, a lot has changed. A lot has changed.
That's good. We're people, man. We should be changing.
Well, I feel like a lot of people get to a certain point in life and like that's them. Your brain forms and you're like, I'm not changing.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like me personally, I'm like finally, like the last time I was here, I had a wedding and I was wearing a suit, and I just had a suit on and I took it off because like, that's not me.
Right.
But again, it's like I feel like I'm full of anecdotes today. It's like,
No.
you what's that?
Isn't it sad though? I know friends who I feel like they've kind of solidified myself in this way that's like boring and sad.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I got married. This is my wife. I have a kid now. I'm doing dad shit. But like with this just flat tone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Like,
you're
there's
like,
no
dude,
excitement behind it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, is this really what you want your life to be? Like, why? You can have all these things, but like, you can still be evolving. You can still be excited.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right.
I'm not there, and
Yeah.
I would never want to be there. But it is sad when you see that, especially somebody in their fucking 20s or 30s.
It can be really easy to go through the motions, especially when you have a kid, because you're no longer the most important person in your life.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, the title. You know what I thought about?
He had a great. I think he had the best response of all time.
And
like, I'm not even like capping. Like, dude, your quickness to it.
Wait, I don't even.
What was the
remember.
title? Well, I said, what is the title of this chapter
Oh
in your
fuck!
life?
I don't even remember what I
Paul
said.
did a great one. I don't
I
remember.
think it was Back to the Future.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was just like, I'm like, bro, did you rehearse that?
Mine's not as good as that, but when I was changing our daughter's diaper last night, and I go, if Evan asked this question, I said, I'm going to say selflessness. That's where I have to be.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
With a kid, okay, I'm in my 20s.
What is it? A boy? A girl?
It's a girl.
What's her name?
It's a girl. Sia, we call her.
What's the long name?
Alessia, long name. Sia, short name. But
Is
yeah.
that a play on her last name?
It's a play on Sam's last name.
Right.
Yeah. We had
Which is it the same spelling?
yeah, with an A at the end. Remember Mr. Vanderbeck in high school?
The man.
V.
He's actually a backup guitarist in J Stubbs band. No, I'm just kidding.
He was a music guy though.
Yeah,
No.
he taught me guitar.
No, he's dope, bro.
Yeah.
That's a crazy reference.
When,
Bring that back.
when I first told him about our daughter and he said, "What's her name?" and I said, Alessia. He goes, "What was that? One of Sam's email addresses back in the day?"
wait. I'm thinking of the wrong teacher. Wait, what was the last name?
Vanderbeck.
Did he have a ponytail?
No.
No, Ev was gone from high school when Vanderbilt.
Oh, you
left.
were
I'm
okay.
thinking, disregard that
Who's
joke on the
ponytail
guitar.
guy?
Mr. Van Acker.
Oh, see, that's
That was
past
like
us.
super niche. She was like special education for like 2 years. I'm like, that's a crazy pullback.
Still hit the guitar reference though.
Oh,
Vanderbilt
did it?
plays guitar. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know
I thought
that.
so too. So I said, okay, Ev knows.
I've never even met that guy. I don't know who that guy is.
but regardless, yeah, whatever. I was a very selfish person and
Yeah.
still have those tendencies. I feel
Right.
like that's what's got me to where I am today. Work first, me first, my troubles first, taking care of my to-do list first. Even when I got married, it was still my troubles first, my to-do list first. And then once you have a kid, it's like, oh, dude, you have to drop that quick.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like you're being responsibly selfish.
Right.
You have to do that, you know. And me, you know, I'm gonna be 30 this year, you know. So it's like that I see how much growth is happening in the last like 3 or 4 years. I'm dating an older girl now, and I'm like, damn, like I could see where this is going. So I feel you.
Yeah, it's just we're all evolving. It's a good thing. So
Yeah.
evolving from doing real estate
Right.
with apartments in New York City
Yeah.
to then acquiring properties upstate.
Yeah.
How did you get into what you're doing now?
Yeah. So what I do now, essentially, I help people get access to $250,000 at 0% interest.
And can it be anything below 250 up to 250?
Yeah, and I'll walk that back
Okay.
because that's a big statement. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. So essentially, how I got into it, we were together in 2021. That was the last time. Okay, so I bought all those properties. I needed to refinance them. I was with my girlfriend at the time in Minnesota. I'll never forget. It was April 14th, 2022. I get a report. I just look at my phone. My credit score drops 90 points. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here? I never really had paid attention to my credit. And I got a collection on my car report. It was $250 for car insurance that got sent to the wrong address. And it showed up my credit report, dropped me 90 points. Now I can't refinance a $4 million real estate portfolio because a $200 collection on my credit report. So like, I'm like, I got to fix this. You know, what did Mark Cuban do to amass his billions? He simply put, he just said, I just read the manual on the most boring thing. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to read the manual on credit. But before I did do that, you know, hindsight is 2020. Before I did that for like 6 months, I just like lost sleep every night. I'm like, oh, I have bad credit. Like my life's over. This sucks. And then I think I DM'd like 10 people on Instagram, paid one person $2,000. I'd never bought a course before, bought a course on credit, learned credit like the back of my hand, fixed my credit. You know, everything from removing all the hard inquiries on your credit report, you can do that. Removing this collection, removing late payments, adding, for example, this rent that you pay here, you can actually add all your positive payment history onto your rental report.
So if you're somebody renting an apartment somewhere, that's not going to automatically go onto your credit.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you can actually, I report mine by 3 different companies. So every time I make one payment, I get 3 different companies reporting a positive $2,000 rent payment history, which, you know, can help the age of your credit, help the strength of your credit, which, you know, what I quickly realized is that if your score isn't optimized, you're playing your life on financial hard mode.
Yeah.
Higher credit card rates, higher interest rates on maybe a purchase of a house, higher interest rates on a car. So like I optimize my credit. I'm like, all right, this is great. I have an 820 credit. That's dope. What else can I do with this now? I was used to walking into banks and just getting flat out denied. You know, hey, can I borrow $20,000? It's like, nope, see you later. It was just because I wasn't positioning my credit profile in the right spot. Again, I read the manual on that, learned how to acquire capital from banks. I learned what they want to hear. There's about 100 different things that you can say or do that can lead to an automatic denial. So I learned all those items for my own report. I got access to $300,000 for my real estate portfolio. And then I just like told a few people like in passing, and then I like their friends contacted me like, hey, I heard you got all this money. Like, can you help me? And like before you knew it, people were calling me nonstop to help them get access to money. I'm like, whoa, I have a business here. I didn't plan on starting this, but at the time the real estate's great for long-term revenue, but this is a really good short-term service-based business. So I just pivoted to that completely. And now I have 4 employees domestically and 7 employees internationally that are essentially running this fintech startup to help people get access to capital and increase their credit score.
Yeah, the credit score is a big thing.
Huge.
It's like, we're not. You can't do shit yourself in terms of buying a house, buying a car, without a good credit score.
And it sucks, dude. Like I remember walking into banks, walking into car dealerships. They run your credit 10 times. Like, hey, we can't help you, or hey, you have a 14% interest rate. I'm like, what? What is this? And it's just information. You just need to know.
Like, what's something you could say verbally that would turn somebody off when you're
if you walk into a bank and you're like, hey, I work in real estate, automatic denial. If you walk into a bank and you have too many previous addresses on your credit report, automatic denial.
Because why? They think this person's unreliable?
Yeah. Well, real estate is a high-risk industry.
Right.
If you have too many previous addresses, which, look, you lived in Manhattan, you get one bill there, that's on your address. They're like, oh, this person's moving all around. If you have more than 3 hard inquiries, automatic denial, because it looks like you're trying to get a bunch of money from different people. If your LLC name is wrong, if your articles of organization isn't updated, like that $9 annual fee you have to
all
pay.
that stuff matters. I've had to learn that over the years.
Yeah.
Not from making a mistake, but just like, having our accountant or business people tell me like, hey, we got to make sure we file this and do this on time and all this has to be
bro,
right.
I've been smoked. I've been audited before. It sucks.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. Now, it's funny. Like, you accept the reality you're presented. So if I got audited this year, I'm like, great, I have nothing to hide. I'll turn over all my paperwork. So it's just like sometimes you just have to get punched in the face and learn.
Yeah. How, okay, thinking about credit, it's like you didn't think about it ever until you saw your score drop and see how it can affect you.
I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I'm good. I have a 700. But looking back on it, my credit sucked. I had a bunch of credit inquiries because I was buying real estate.
And I think right now in our country, I bet credit card utilization is through the roof in our country as a whole, especially post-COVID with people.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's out. It's. I mean, Americans love debt.
Paul, look up how much credit card debt our country's in. I bet it's wild. I bet it's trillions of dollars.
Yeah, and this is the cool thing about business credit is that a lot of people like they run their business on a personal credit card. I'm like, yo, it's how much? Hang on. Like, how much credit card debt? Consumer credit card debt? Is that what you look up?
Yeah.
Don't say it yet.
In the fourth quarter of 2023.
That's all you're looking at? Just
Total credit card.
I'm going
The total credit card balance as of
14 trillion.
Oh, that's high.
Go.
1.129 trillion.
Trillion.
Oh, we could push those numbers up, baby. Let's go.
That's up from a record of 1.079 trillion in the third quarter of 2023, leaving the highest balance since the New York Fed began tracking in 99.
Yeah, people, yeah.
Like, what do you want utilization under to help improve your credit score? What if it goes over? Can it start to hurt you?
Okay, if you go above a 20% utilization in your personal score, that's when it starts to hurt. But with business credit cards, you can max them out and it does not negatively affect you. That's the beauty of them. Let's say you actually have, an investment you have to make into your business. You have to buy new equipment, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I'm an authorized user on my mom's card, and I'll explain that in a second. My mom bought a grill. Her limit is $9,000. It was a $6,000 grill. Her utilization 66%. Her score dropped like 50 points. And I'm on her credit card because I need the age. I don't have access to the card. But I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? My score just dropped 50 points. I'm like, what did you do? She's like, oh, I just bought a grill. I'm like, no.
She better have got a Traeger or something cool, bro.
Like, you grill, Mom? But with business credit cards, you can actually utilize, let's say you get a $70,000 card, you max out for $60,000. It doesn't report negatively on your personal credit card score. Whereas if you get a personal credit card and you max it out, your score will be in the 500s before you know it.
Yeah, I guess people really do that. They'll blend their personal with their business, which is crazy to me. I guess I just had good advice early on.
I didn't know that. I mean, I would also say there's a strong correlation between personal credit card debt and the lifestyle you are perceiving to live.
Yeah.
Like anyone who has like the crazy car, the crazy condo.
Yeah,
I don't know how they're getting by.
Right.
They have like 130% utilization. Like just I'm like, how are you financially alive right now?
Yeah, that they just like the clout. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
What are you chasing?
back to social media. It's
Yeah.
the how I'm presenting myself.
Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, if that's what makes people feel happy, then sure, but not for me.
Yeah, no, I'm good. And I can't even help them because their score is so low because they've maxed out their personal credit card. So I can't even get them funding because their score is so low. And
Yeah, I guess what's the lowest point somebody's at where you're like, okay, I can really help you turn this thing around? Or does it depend why it is
Okay,
that
so
low?
my co-founder, Devin, when he came to me, he had like a 550 FICO just because he had high utilization and he was shopping around rates for his mortgage. He had, I think, 40 inquiries on each bureau. He was really running that thing. Like 40, Devin, really?
That's a lot.
But we removed all those. He paid down his utilization. His score went from a 550 to an 820 in like a month and a half. And he's doing all these different small things to optimize his score. And now he's gotten like $200,000 in funding.
How did you learn how to, I guess you took this course, but yeah, what's the process of then you're reaching out to credit to companies?
Yeah,
and-
reaching out to all the big guys, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, and just getting loans for whoever needs it. You know, if they need a business loan. And the really cool thing is like you get to see so many different businesses. That's why I sort of went away from real estate. Is like the goal in business is to not have competition. And with this working in the money business, so many people come to you with different businesses. I was thinking about this on the way over here. There's this woman that we're working with who transports bodily fluid. She transports blood, urine, whatever that comes out of your body.
Feces, Paul?
Yeah.
Feces, little poop, little poop
Yeah.
talk.
And dude, she makes like 90% margins.
Oh, what a margin.
I know, exactly. I'm like, why am I going to be in real estate where I if there's a good real estate deal, there's 100 people on it. Now I'm going to find the most boring, obscure stuff. I want to be the guy painting the lines on the road. I want to be the guy that manufactures asphalt. Like all these weird niche things that aren't super, super mainstream. That's where the profit is.
Yeah, well, we're going back to like trades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America needs plumbers.
America needs a lot of good trades. It's like our generations was like, you didn't go to college, right? I know we had talked before.
I was with Jay for 1 year. I walked by him a few times. He looked pretty sad to be there. I'm like, I haven't seen you in 3 years. What's up?
Hudson Valley,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And didn't you run into Jay in the city recently? You DM'd me.
Yeah, that was just over winter. Yeah.
Yeah. He's always just popping up different places.
Yeah.
Dude, but okay, yeah, think about our...
I wasn't happy either, by the way.
I was happy in the city though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah,
were.
okay.
Yeah, you were good. But in the, I think
Hudson
Hudson
Valley,
Valley was
different
like,
story.
oh man, dude.
It's a shared misery. I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Do you think most people are miserable there?
At Hudson Valley, I don't know if they're mostly miserable, but I don't see a lot of like inspired people at Hudson Valley.
It's tough, especially I went straight out of high school, and you go there, and all your friends. Or no, you went to Cortland.
Yeah, I
and
went to Cortland right out of
having an
school.
awesome time.
I was having a great time.
Yeah, and
Living
you're-
my best life.
Yeah, and then I'm at home eating mom's macaroni. Like, oh, how
Listen,
is psychology?
I miss mom's
I'm like,
macaroni.
Did you feel like that too, Jay?
Yeah, but on the other hand, I wasn't ready to go away. It's just too immature. So like,
Did you go away?
Yeah, I went away after 2 years at Hudson Valley.
Where did you start though? Like out of college, out of high school, where'd you go?
Hudson Valley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What
But
were you
that-
still doing there? Because that was your third year.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
did. Took me 5 semesters. So. I
Oh,
had
so
half a
yeah,
semester.
I knew I just caught you there. I knew you were like, I'm ready to get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
That's really why Jordan was. He was like, dude, I got to get the fuck out of this place.
Yeah, I saw Evan and I was done.
You said Evan's here. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But think about college in our generation and your generation. How much debt, people
Oh, man.
are putting.
I'm doing a lot of street interviews now, and the people I'm interviewing, you forget. I'm sure you guys are around people in high school, but I'm interviewing these. I had an interview with a girl last week, and she's taking on $75,000 a year. She's 18 years old. I'm like, oh, what do you want to do when you graduate? She's like, oh, I want to open a bakery. I'm like, nice.
$75,000 a year in debt.
Yeah, and
Open
it's
a
like
bake-
you're talking to them. They're like, yep, just 4 years, then I'm going to land my dream job. I'm like, right.
Yeah, almost never.
Yeah, no. But I'm not going to be the one to tell them that. I'm like, yeah, good luck.
Right,
Yeah.
but like, what a tough spot you're putting yourself in financially when all of a sudden now I'm going to step into the real world. I'm done with college. I have to pay for rent. I have to pay for my groceries. I have to pay for my phone. And now all of a sudden you have this, who knows what, payment a month for student loans.
Yeah, I didn't go to college, as
Right.
you know, so I don't, yeah. But I can just remember visiting my friends at college. I went to visit my friend at U Miami, and the mindset of like, yo, you got to meet my friend. He's the man. And then meeting that kid as me being in the real world at 21, he's 21 but in college, and seeing who was like the big boss dogs in college were. I'm like, dude, hold on to that, brother. That's not gonna last. Like the guy who's the man is just like watching NFL ticket, drinking beer all day. I'm like, that guy is like, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
So just interesting.
Yeah, the real world hits you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a two-step process then. Let's clean up somebody's credit score.
Sure.
So then they can
Yeah,
get
so
funding that they
we're
need.
more a funding company, but we will do credit repair and credit consulting to get them ready for funding.
Right.
For example, like I work with a lot of real estate investors because they always get denied trying to get money, and it's a very capital intensive business. And that's sort of my background. They'll come to me with 12 inquiries on each bureau. So we remove all those. Their credit score goes up 10, 15 points. Then honestly, psychology, they trust me. They've already paid a little bit. And they're like, oh, he actually did what he said he was going to do.
Trust is huge in whatever you're doing. Whether it's in here, we have somebody in for their first workout. They're nervous. They're weary. We got loud music. There's a lot of people.
Right.
I got to lock in with this person. We
Yeah.
got to connect. I got to build trust. Probably the same with you on an initial phone call or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. So it goes initial phone call. So I'll break it down for you. And this is I was actually thinking about this on the way over here. Business, any business really, there's really 4 squares, and they should work harmoniously. Advertising and marketing, which leads to setting. Now, setting you guys don't have as much as what I do. Setting you can think of like that's the person at the restaurant, like, hey, welcome to the restaurant. How can I help you? You want to sit inside or outside? They connect with the setter from the advertising. Then they're connected to the closer, the guy who's going to sell them. They're sold, and then they go to fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly how our business
It's
does.
like, you ever read the book Never Lose a Customer Again? I forget the author, Paul. Look it up. But it's basically about a client entering any business that provides a service or sells a product, and that its premise is
Joey Coleman?
Yes, Joey Coleman. It's like a balloons on the cover. But the premise is that every buyer has a potential to have buyer's remorse, and they're going to. And how can I intervene psychologically to prevent them from hitting that spot?
And is buyer's
leaving
remorse after you buy something?
after you buy something.
Yeah.
So for us,
Yeah.
it's retention's the big thing.
So our stuff is getting them a victory as soon as possible. So our checkout structure, someone pays $3.95, we remove all their credit inquiries, we update their personal information. We want to get them a win within 24 hours. That's what we really shoot for. And that's all run on the other side of the world in the Philippines. That's completely outsourced to a team I work with exclusively. But I'm not doing that. That's all that heavy lifting is by guys, floating around in the Philippines on MacBooks. So that's fulfilled. They get a victory, and then we had to do that anyway because if they have all those inquiries, they're going to get automatically denied. And then after that, they're connected to someone domestically who can connect with them a little bit more, and then they go for funding.
And then we get into the funding. So real estate's a good business this is for to help somebody because it is capital intensive.
I mean, really any business, man. If you're like, yo, I want to add more, I want to build this gym out more, and I can get a return on my capital in 12 months.
That's the big thing, right? 'Cause I think those are my big questions when I see it is like, okay, we have a 0% and what, banks have different promotional
Different
periods?
promo periods, yeah. So it's generally 0% between 6 and 18 months.
So really, you got it. Whatever you're gonna take out and spend, we got to try to cover that and pay it back in this promo period,
Definitely,
right?
Definitely. So like for example, real estate fix and flippers, they have it for 6 months, or you can use the money to get a Turo, like a rental car. I rented my car off Turo, or I don't know, some sort of some Airbnb hospitality, a food truck, any venture where you can get the truck, get it operating, have it cash flow, pay it back in that 12-month period. But if you get to the end of the 12 months, you can balance transfer that into another card.
Explain that to me then.
Yeah, sure. So if you're at the end of your promo, at the end of the 0%, after 12 months, let's say you take it out, it's the time of the recording, it's April 2024, it's April 2025, you're like, damn, I still need to pay down like $3,000. You can get another card and balance transfer that promo period onto a new card.
With a lesser interest rate?
With the 0% interest rate.
Just kick that over.
And just stretch it out.
Because let's say you take out a hefty amount, 100K, you don't pay. What's the interest rate if you don't pay back?
It's a normal credit card. It's high. It's 18%.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it also like psychologically, it's a motivator of like, all right, got to make this work.
Right. I got to pay
Let's
this
go.
back.
Yeah.
And Yeah, so it's probably best for what? What if somebody's a newer business and they can't take out some bigger
There's
line
a
of
lot
credit?
of we do have a lot of newer businesses. Well, let's say someone just learned a skill. They learned how to wholesale real estate. They learned how to Airbnb. They're like, all right, I have the information. Now I need money to make this happen.
Right.
That's a lot of people that we work with, or people who they wanna grow their business. They want to run ads. They want to do promotions. You know, you can just put that card on your ad spend. A lot of times, you know, you get like a 5x ROAS, return on ad spend,
Right.
and then you pay the card back, and then you get the rewards and the points from the cards.
Right. Yeah, it's like in here post our initial like startup capital, us doing all renovations, it's like I already had the money sitting in an account.
Right.
So I put it on a card, boom, get the points,
Yeah.
pay off the card,
Right.
and then move on to the next.
And you could
thing.
also pay employees with cards, which is cool too, which I didn't realize. You can like write checks off cards.
Interesting.
There's like a few different companies that do that. And there's also like the rewards and stuff like that. I'm not a master of credit card points and rewards. I'm just like, look, I'm just going to work harder and make more money. I don't really
Right.
care about this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Different than me wanting to just take out a line of credit.
Right.
Because I take out a line of credit, I'm only then getting interest on the money that I'm spending.
Correct. And we also do lines of credit. Those are just more difficult to get. But you can get that's another big thing. You can get this all without producing a single document. It's all in stated income.
Right.
So it's completely predicated. Getting $250,000 is completely predicated on your personal credit score. If you have a 720 or 730 credit, you can get $200,000. You just have to present your application the right way.
Right. And then, okay, yeah, what are examples of other businesses you've done that have been interesting to you?
Street painting, transporting bodily fluids, garbage disposals, literally anything, landscaping,
Right.
car washes. We also do a lot of funding for people who are getting an SBA loan. For example, we have a guy right now.
Okay, let's talk about that because when we went to startup, SBA loan was one route that I looked at.
I don't know much about them, but I know that the SBA is and if you want to be connected to a broker, I have a guy who brokers SBA loans. He's buying a car wash. He's bringing 80% from the SBA, and then he needs another $75,000 to close. He takes the 75, he closes, and then he'll pay that 75 back with the revenue of the car wash in like 6 months.
Right. Right. So it makes sense. It's like, I know I'm going to get this cash flow in.
Right.
I know I can get the capital, which I need right now.
Yeah.
And then I'll pay it off and not worry about having some interest rate.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
dude, I don't like having fucking debt. I
Yeah.
don't like debts. I don't like owing people
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, it stresses me out. If I knew I was going to have the capital or the cash flow coming in, I'd be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But that hanging over my head would scare the shit out of me.
No,
dude.
100%, man. I agree. And like a lot of it is having a deal to deploy it into.
Yeah,
a lot
right.
of these guys like, yo, I just want a $100,000 line so that when a deal comes up, I can just use that as a good faith deposit.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You just have that line of credit.
Mm.
Who's somebody that if they came to you and said they wanted this, you'd be like, no, this is not for you right now. You could fail with this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the bank.
Right. Right. They want it. You just help them get it.
I'm not. I'm judgment free. I'm like Planet Fitness, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's the bank's
I'm not
call
the
on
bank,
that.
bro. I'm not the
Right.
bank. Hey, I'm gonna review your business plan, make sure it makes sense, but
Right.
it's the bank's underwriting.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Yeah,
we work with a lot of nail salons, a lot of spas. And it's crazy, man. It's like we're selling the most precious commodity at the cheapest rate possible. 0% money. It's a very easy offer. So you have people from all walks of life. It's brought me to some very interesting rooms. But like, I know you guys don't know about this, but the alternative is like loan sharks, like merchant cash advance that charge 30% interest that collect daily interest payments. And like they can just
explain that.
It's just the alternative to what I do. They're
Did you
called
use
MCAs.
Or a loan shark.
Yeah, loan shark, MCA, very similar thing, but it's just like a 30% interest rate whenever you borrow.
God.
Yeah.
It's like
And
how-
people take those. People take it at
Well,
40%.
how desperately do you need cash to
Yeah,
just
right.
be like,
I mean,
give me
dude,
that?
there's a lot of people.
Look at the
think
look at the
about
credit
it.
card number we
Yeah,
just said.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
We
true.
all know
Yeah.
someone who just, you're like, how are you getting by right now?
I mean,
Yeah.
we
Well,
saw the
should-
number. It's over in
Yeah.
the trillions.
Not 14, but 1 point
Yeah,
something.
not 14,
It
man.
could be 14 at some point.
Yeah.
Probably will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, think what finance classes did we have in high school available to us?
Well, it's interesting, man. I don't know. My senior thesis was financial literacy should be a required course to
No
graduate
way.
from high school. Yeah.
we had to do what was
Yeah.
was it called a thesis?
Yeah.
A senior
Yeah.
project?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine was
I think I told Jordan what to do for his, and I kind of I'd regretted that I told him to do this for years, and I've turned back around where now I'm like, oh yeah, this was good.
It was your idea?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Yeah, it
What was
wasn't really helpful for the rest of my life.
This is gonna sum me up in any...
What was it, Jay?
You ready, Ev?
Aliens built the pyramid.
You were ahead of your time, dude.
That's what I'm saying. He knew. He's ahead of his time.
I did performance-enhancing drugs in sports.
I should have kept down that when full Alex Jones. I would be like a multi-millionaire.
Oh man.
You could have been one of the first podcasters.
Dude,
for that.
yeah, what year was that, man? That
was 11.
was before it was cool to say that.
That
aliens
was
built the
early.
pyramids.
You were early, man.
He was
on
following Tom DeLonge. That's what was going on.
Yeah, Jay, I think I told you to do that, and I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. Here I am.
That's wild. I can't imagine you going in front of a group of like 10 people that.
Yeah.
10
you're
teachers.
Really clear, teachers. that
10
you're-
teachers.
Yeah.
No,
Fucking
you've
explaining
Light
that.
up a bowl and say, here we go.
No, you've got the right idea. It was awkward.
Yeah.
So they were all like,
No.
"What are you talking about?"
You probably had one teacher in there that was like, "Yo, this is
my
is
advisor,
legit."
Mr. Pearson.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say it was probably him.
So
That's
any
funny.
other advisor would have nixed that right away, probably.
Yeah, but what's that course he offered that was sick? It was
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it was like-
Human
I didn't make it that far. It's like human, yeah.
something.
human something.
I just remember the pine cones in there.
Yeah,
Those were
but it was
huge.
because of that he was like all on board with what I was doing. Fuck,
It's
what
all
was that
cool
called?
stuff to think about. Sure, I'll throw it out there. But financial literacy, yeah, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a
and
little-
back to education. It's like think about a schoolroom. Think about a classroom. It was designed by the Rockefellers. They created the General Board of Education in 1912 to make more employees. You're in a row, like an assembly line, authoritarian figure in the front, no collaboration. School is to make employees, and that's the foundation of it. So that's why they don't teach financial literacy, because if you teach financial literacy, you can get out of your employment.
This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Bombas. Bombas makes my favorite pair of socks, hands down, alongside the most comfortable and durable underwear, t-shirts, and other everyday clothing staples. Their wide variety of sock lengths, colors, and patterns have you covered, whether you're working out, going out, or lounging at home. I love their merino wool blend athletic ankle sock for long days of coaching at CDSF and getting in workouts myself. And if I'm at home doing work around the house, you better believe I'm wearing my Bombas Sunday slippers with their comfy memory foam midsole. And when you buy from Bombas, you're also buying for those in need. For every item you purchase, Bombas donates one item to people in overnight shelters, transitional living facilities, rehab centers, Title I schools, and medical service professionals. Take my word, if you want to upgrade your sock game to one that's more comfortable, durable, fashionable, and charitable, head over to the Bombas link in this episode's description to browse their full collection of everyday wear, and don't forget to use code CDSF20 for 20% off your first order. The supplement industry is like the Wild West. The lack of regulations mean the supplements you purchase may not even contain the ingredients listed on the label, which is why I get my daily vitamins and supplements from Thorne. Thorne vitamins and supplements are made without compromise. Quality ingredients ensure your body optimally absorbs and digests your daily supplements, while in-house and third-party testing ensure you're getting exactly what you paid for. Thorne offers a variety of health tests reviewed by board-certified physicians that evaluate your lifestyle, gut health, sleep, stress hormones, and metabolic markers to determine which vitamins and supplements may be most effective in helping you feel and perform better throughout the day. For college and professional athletes, Thorne has NSF-certified supplements that make sure you won't get pop positive on a drug test. Whether you're an athlete, professional, parent, grandparent, or weekend warrior, Thorne's selection of high-quality supplements can help improve your quality of life. Switch to Thorne's high-quality and extensively tested supplements today at thorne.com/u/CDSF. That's thorne.com/u/CDSF. Truth.
Yeah.
And it's funny how much of that it still stands today.
Right.
And in here, we see a lot of kids that have ADHD and attention deficit issues. And it's like, dude, school, just how it's structured, they can learn, but how it's structured is not setting them up in a position to do well, to
Right,
learn.
because they'll be in here and they'll pick stuff up, and we're like, yeah, you guys can easily learn, but that's because they're active. They're
Right.
moving around. They're doing something. They're
Yes.
collaborating.
Yeah, they're
with,
collaborating
know.
psychologically with us. They're moving their bodies. It's like
and
so important.
It makes a big difference with that.
Yeah, 100%, man.
But financial literacy, yeah, what would be your keys in high school? Just basics. You'd like people.
Yeah,
Can we
the
start
basics.
with giving change? Because I feel like kids can't do that. That's the first thing. Just being able to count money.
Really? Is
count
that what
money.
you're seeing? People can't
Just
count
be
money?
able-
That's a
able to-
basic math
I
problem
swear
right
to
there.
God,
No.
kids can count like dollar bills.
Right.
You give them change, I bet you you have 10 kids in here, 50% of them won't be able to do change.
Make them go put them in.
I'm telling you,
50
man.
is aggressive, but you would know better than I would.
I don't know about in here.
Yeah.
In here, we do have some smart kids. We also have some kids.
Yeah, it's
you know.
the pool. You take a pool of
I
people
mean, I
anywhere.
guess it
But, like,
makes sense. They don't see it that much.
Yeah, right. Who has
right.
cash on them now?
Like I was sitting there and I'm literally trying to with my roommate's sister, she's a senior in high school, and I'm like, all right, if I gave you $2 and it was $1.50, what do you give me back? And she's sitting there and can't figure it out.
Yeah, that's a basic math issue right there.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know.
So let's start there.
I don't know if I can help.
That's kindergarten. Let's start there. Kindergarten, being able to count money.
Yeah.
But,
Wow.
okay, basic things. Interest, student loans, a good place to start
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
kids.
interest, student loans, understanding what, like, for example, what principal and interest only is. Interest only IO is you're only paying interest. You're not paying down your principal. People are like, oh, I'm making progress. No, you're just paying your interest.
Good, this is true.
Stuff like that. What else is out there? I don't know, like opening a credit card, understanding how that flows, understanding the breakdown of your credit. It's 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. 35% is have you made all your payments on time? 30% is utilization, like we talked about. 15% is age. 10% is diversity. Do you have a lot of different debts on your credit? Do you have
Which you're saying it's good to have some diversity on
it's
paying
good.
down different things.
Yeah. You want to have a credit card. You want to have a car payment. You want to have a mortgage. You want to have a rental agreement. You want to have a personal loan, so they can see that you can service a lot of different things. And then the last 10% is inquiries. How many inquiries do you have in your credit? So, I mean, in high school, open a credit card, just do a sign off on something with your parents. You don't even need access to it. Don't even use it, but just have that age build on your file.
Right.
Because I see so many people starting their credit journey like now when they're later in life. It takes time. It takes some time.
Yeah, it's a good point. Just
Yeah.
have a card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't use this card all the time. Don't
Right.
build, but like have it, make some payments, buy
Yeah.
some things, pay it off.
Yeah. And at the flip side of the coin, if you have some late payments collections, I've been there. I just had that one collection, but I was like really self-conscious about it for a long time. And I always tell my people who come to me that have, credit issues, I'm like, it's okay. Like I've been there. It's cool. I will help you. And with credit repair, you have all the rights and laws that you can leverage as a consumer. There's so many laws you can leverage. For example, if everything isn't accurate and verifiable, it can be deleted. That's like you saying, yo, I can do a windmill. And I'm like, okay, verify that you can do a windmill. If you can't, then I can get that deleted off your credit report.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
How much did COVID influence things in terms of how much you can get off of a credit score that may have got reported when it was during COVID, like rent that things were supposed to be paused?
All of that. If you have late payments from COVID, that can be deleted. In the same way that people leveraged not paying student loans during COVID, it's the same law that you can apply to removing late payments off your credit.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's good. I think talking about high school, learning about different savings accounts, learning about a Roth, learning about IRAs is important.
How old? What grade would you feel like this should start?
I mean, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Like even if you're, I would say for you, like for your kid, have them sign off on a credit card with you. By the time they get to 18, they'll have an 18-year-old, credit history.
Is there really no age limit on when
No.
you can open one?
Yeah. They can be a co-signer, and you sign for them, and then they're building credit.
On a card that I'm just using and
Yeah.
paying off,
Correct.
and then their credit year is that much older.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild. It's like,
And you're setting her up because like she'll have that. Like there's a reason why so many wealthy kids become wealthy.
This is so true. We see it in here
Yeah.
because we're just around affluent families that can afford us, which is great. Like I want to be around those types
Right.
of people because I'm learning.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we're from Chatham, middle class. It's like I was explaining to some girl in here who was saying how important education is to her family and how she gets great grades. She's probably going to go to a good college. And I was like, my family, it's hard work was the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what got me to where I am today. But
Yeah.
like financial literacy, education, like they just weren't on the top of the list. I was like, I'm just going to work hard and
Just gonna
see what
paint.
I'm just going to fucking paint. I love painting.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's peaceful for me.
Hell yeah. How's he doing, by the way?
Great. Dave's still
Dave, yeah, hell yeah.
still working. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see here he painted that white wall behind you last week. Yeah, Dave's good, man. Dave will always just
I feel
work.
like he looks exactly the same. Am I correct in saying it?
Yeah, Jay. Not a ton have changed.
Yeah, no, I
think I saw him a
he's
few
even-
years ago. I'm
He's
like,
even like
yo.
more fit than
He's
he
kind of
was
like
5,
he's
10
kind of like
years ago.
Pharrell in that way. Like he just doesn't
Pharrell
like hasn't
doesn't
aged.
Yeah.
Like even when I think about it, I'm like Dave. I feel like does look very similar to like I'm just picturing him on Little League baseball field. I'm like
His
very similar,
domain.
very similar.
The Little League fields, dude. Did you play Little League in Chatham?
He was my coach, bro.
Were you a Mets
He-
Wood
he's a
guy?
Mets-
Yeah, me
yeah.
and him.
Yellow
Yeah,
team.
yeah. Back
Yes,
in the
sir.
day. Yeah, he was a really great influence. He's a great, like, really good man. Like, really, like, I don't have a lot of like memories, but like very stern, but to the point. Like, knew when to congratulate you, knew when to let you rock. Like,
Yeah, we had some good male role models growing up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. That's true. But yeah, back to like the wealthier are just gonna stay wealthy because they know all these. They're
They know
They've
the tricks of the
observed
trade.
it. Yeah, they've
Right.
observed it growing up. They understand how that stuff flows. It's sort of tough to break the mold when you don't observe that growing up.
yeah,
you
you
know?
don't know how to initiate things. Whether it's like life insurance, starting savings accounts for your kids.
It's also a lot of it is psychology. Like, oh, I don't deserve to make this much money. You have to like break free of that and surround yourself with other affluent people.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if it's I don't deserve it or like, what
Doesn't
you're
seem
just
attainable or what?
or
it
you're
is.
just always chasing something.
What I love meeting in people in life is people who show me what's possible. People like and there's two sides of the coin. Like let's say there's someone making $500,000 a month. And one, I'm like, oh wow, it's possible. And then two, I kind of think, okay, if he can do it, like, what am I doing here? Like the biggest guy in my space makes $2.5 million a month.
Mhm.
And I see him and I'm like, my friend knows him and he helped him finance a yacht. And essentially I think in 2022, he made like 25 million. 2021, he made like 10 million. 2020, he did not file his taxes because he was an Uber delivery guy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that shows you like what's possible. Like, all right, that guy's in my industry. Like, I got to study this dude.
Yeah. This is partly why you said you want to get to a spot where there's no competition, but competition is good. It is going to make you work.
It's going to make you work, but like you don't, for example, like Alex Hermosi, him.
Yeah. See,
Talk
sometimes
to me about your relationship with Alex Hermosi because he's a gym guy too.
it turns me off.
Interesting.
I
Elaborate.
I don't know him. I don't follow him. I see clips. I guess I don't even know enough to say like if I like or don't like.
You got to
what
get
he's
in there a little bit,
about.
bro.
But okay, this is where I'm old school.
Sure.
When I got into this field 2011, the scene was different. The internet was different. But what was on the internet was blogs, and that was it. There was Facebook, but wasn't Instagram, wasn't Reels, wasn't what there is today. People weren't using it how they're using it today. So when I came up to excel in this field, I had to go put myself around the people that were really doing it and doing what I wanted to do, like build a place like this.
Right.
So that brought me to Boston. Boston was like this hot pot of strength coaches. You had Eric Cressy, who I worked for, Mike Reinhold, who I worked with, Mike Boyle, who was the first guy to really have a for-profit strength and conditioning facility.
Sure.
There's BU, there's BC. It was just this hot pot of like great coaches. So I said, I got to go out there, and now I got to find these people and do internships and work with them.
Right.
Which I did. And to me, it was like nothing's going to make up for me fucking boots on the ground, learning from these guys, observing what they're doing, building my skill set. How this goes back to Hermosi, I don't know. Just the just the quick, to me, it seems like the quick, like, let's fucking build your gym. We do a couple posts here and there. We do it quick. And I don't know. It's just this lost art form of just like fucking being on the ground and you're building your skills and you're doing it. I guess that's just the old school me. Where the flashy social stuff.
I have his book in my car. It's all about leads. It's all about, like if you double the amount of leads you get, you double your business.
Of course.
And he just teaches on that. And he started in the gym industry, but now he's in another. You should give him a try.
I feel like what I just said, what you
Yeah.
said makes more sense. I can't really knock that. I did this run around of just like grinding my balls off for 10 years and you're like leads. I'm like, well, of course, leads. Leads matters a ton. More leads we have, more conversions I could have, more revenue all year I could have, of course.
Yeah, and he's almost like the modern day like Confucius, like the way he like breaks things down. It's like it makes a lot of sense to me personally.
Like what, from a marketing standpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's things I could learn from it. And yeah, I'll probably give it a go now. Yeah, I think old school me of just like.
And he gives away everything for free, by the way. Like he gives away everything for free because his thing is, he's like, yo, I want to partner with you once your business reaches, let's say $5 million a year. He wants to partner with you once you reach that level and bring it to $50 million by using his skills that he taught you for free, get it to $1 million or $2 million or $3 million.
Which is great. I guess maybe what I'm saying is I had these mentors that's who I've used to get where I am now.
Yeah.
And I guess, I'm stubborn not to go and want to learn from other people and see other things. I think maybe if somebody in the gym industry didn't have these mentors.
I think
like
he was
this.
just a marketing guy who liked gyms.
Right.
And that was his channel of applying it.
Right. Well, I can't argue that because, of course, leads matter a ton and good marketing matters a ton.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And somebody wants to help other people like that, I can't knock them.
That's something I know it wasn't really on our call notes, but like so important, man, is like, it's an idea I've been like obsessed with lately, is that like influence and fame is the only flex. It's the only unattainable thing that people can't get anymore. Like this is me coming because I was just in Miami. It's like, I went on a date maybe like 6 months ago. This was also in Miami, and I'm thinking about like my options. Like, all right, I could rent like a crazy Lambo. No, they've already been there. I could go on a yacht. No, they've already been on the boat. It's like, go to the 40th floor. Nah, like it's already like she's already done that. Like it's really tough to flex. So that's just like those items, and then like you can buy your followers maybe, and then with finances you can fake how much money you have.
Of course,
but you can't fake your reputation.
No,
you can't fake who knows you.
No,
right?
You can't. And I guess maybe the big internet guy, and listen, this is how you're doing it, right? You're building a following on the internet. That's how you're getting your leads and growing people. I'm so fucking simple, where maybe at one point in time I wanted that. I wanted this giant following and I wanted fame and people to know who I was. And now I'm like, dude, I want to build this thing. And of course, I want the gym to go to 1 million and 2 and 5.
Yeah.
Of course I want that.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm working for.
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck who knows me.
Right.
How many people follow me.
Yep.
What people think. Like,
I don't either. It's just like, it's such an obvious, like, to me personally, by going on the reels, getting more followers, stuff like that, it just leads to more, it's a funnel.
Yes,
Again,
it's
at the
a
end of the
funnel.
day.
That's a good point, Evan. It's a funnel. And it's and of course, if our business Instagram tripled in followers, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's just not in my head. I rather...
It's not the main focus.
I want to make sure my employees are happy, our clients are
There's
happy.
a lot to think about running a business.
I think that's what it is. There's a lot
you
to
have a
think
young
about.
kid. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't even have a girlfriend yet. So it's like
as long as your time management is good,
Right.
you'll be fine. You're just gonna
yeah.
reshift things around. Then it works.
Exactly.
Yeah, as you develop more of a relationship with somebody, and as you have a kid. Oh, if you have that good base of like time management,
right.
you figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Just wake up earlier.
You wake up earlier. You fuck around less.
Yeah.
You do fuck around less. Yeah.
Like I barely scroll anymore. Do you find yourself getting trapped in scrolling?
Oh, yeah, I'm trapped. I can't even like get out. Like, get me out of here.
Yeah, you just do that shit. My workouts are shorter. You just name it. It's like things get condensed a little bit.
You get more efficient, even more so than you were before. But even more, you get more efficient as you have more
Are
responsibility.
do you have a kid?
No,
Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
He's seen me. I get more
yeah.
efficient.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've just seen the change in Mike from before Sia and after Sia as a not only like as a gym owner, but as like what he does for his own work and everything like that, and just the efficient. Like he was always efficient, but
I
it was
can see
like,
that. You are efficient.
But he definitely would go home and
If this Hormozy, what's his Hormozy?
Yeah.
If he's listening, dude, I didn't mean like you may be okay. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna give you a go here.
But like he
well, let me ask you
doing
another
less work
question.
at
Like
home.
what are your goals for this gym? Do you want to expand? Do you want to what do you what's the end goal?
Okay. The end goal for me for this gym is just to continue expanding and growing. I feel like we have good systems in place that are
That's
very
huge.
scalable.
Yeah.
So to continue to just scale up,
Right.
more clients per day, more coaches to service those clients, which means over time we need more square footage. I'm too simple of a person, I say that now, to want to do multiple locations.
That's okay.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like I'd much rather just, continue expanding here and just scaling up our systems within this space.
Right.
One day we rent, one day being in a spot to own a building.
Yeah.
And-
Which again though, that is really glorified. Like it's a lot more difficult to fix the HVAC than it is to fix a hyperlink.
Yeah,
So sometimes it might just make sense to rent.
It's a good point, and I've had other people tell me that too.
Yeah.
So maybe not. To me, the gym is it doesn't have a tremendous profit margin. Like we make money, and I can put money in the bank and send it
Yeah.
to me personally every quarter. But it's more like a cash flow business. I'm just getting it coming in. I
Right.
have friends in Boston who have taken their profits from gyms and went into things like real estate and
Right.
short-term rentals. Like that intrigues me. Maybe
Yeah.
because it's just something different. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't think you should. I mean, you can buy real estate. You can. Of course, you can always make money in those things. But I just find that it's such. You just have so, like I was saying before, there's so much competition. There's so many other people competing for those profits. Whereas if you do something a little bit more off the beaten path that requires a little bit more studying and a little bit more expertise, I don't know exactly what that thing is.
Right.
Like, for example, my inquiry removal service. The only service is we remove inquiries off people's credit reports. Super, super niche. So we approach like car dealerships. After someone just bought a car, they ran their credit 10 times. Hey, let me remove all those inquiries. We charge $395 to remove the inquiries, and we do like $12,000 a month just on removing inquiries. And I don't know a single other person in the United States that does this.
Yeah.
And it's ran by someone for $5 in the Philippines.
Right. How'd you start doing that? Getting employees internationally?
Onlinejobs.ph, baby. You can find. I can probably get one of my guys on if you want to talk to him. But
Because
Yeah.
$5 seems so low.
that's rich. That's rich. I mean, they start at $3.
Because of what? What a conversion is to $1 where they live.
Yeah. So I have guys anywhere from $3. My most expensive guy is $15, and they do everything. They do my accounting. They do my bookkeeping. They do all the client success calls, all the onboarding, all the CRM management, all the websites. Not that much cold outreach because you just. But any time you call someone from, let's say you call Amex or T-Mobile or anybody other than the phone, they're on the other side of the world.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. But you have relationships with all these people?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna visit them like in the next year. Like I've helped them buy houses.
Well,
like,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's dope, bro. And like, keep in mind, I'm hiring these people from people like Amazon who are paying them like $2 an hour. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in perspective like that.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And it's wild, man. You post one job on online jobs, and you'll have like 400 applicants, like ready to work, ready to go, dialed in.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how they'd be applied to the gym space.
No, this is a unique space because
right.
the,
It's very hands-on.
everything happens
Everything- yeah,
hands-on.
yeah.
Everything's hands-on. Yeah, which is cool. Yeah, no. It's good to talk to you about the real estate thing post because I see these people doing it, and my brain always likes, okay, I've mastered one thing, boom, boom, boom. We're gonna go on to the next thing.
That's the issue though, is that very frequently opportunities are disguised as distractions. I mean, and that's a mistake. I don't say I made because I'm happy I did it, but it's like and it's tough. It's like this is going really well. Just keep going with this thing.
Yeah, opportunities that's well said. That's a good point. It's like, yeah, maybe this
Think
is
about
just,
like all these different things, Bitcoin, NFT, there's so many different. And another thing about real estate and a lot of these different ventures, you have to remember, someone is frequently pushing that because they're monetizing the course side of it to sell you to, oh, let me teach you how to buy real estate and charge you $2,500 and push all the positives of real estate. There are positives for sure. There's great tax benefits, but what they don't talk about is the tenants that don't pay you, the leaky faucets.
that's
late
what
nights.
these fitness guys are, though. They have courses and mentorships,
Right.
where they're saying, "Hey, gym owner, let's take your profits
Alex
and
Ramosi.
and let's
he
let's
does it
turn
for
it
free,
into this." Yes.
But
Now you just turned my Mike's like, I'm not going now. Not
No,
doing
I'm
it.
gonna give this guy a chance. Stop. But
No,
if
I'm
I
just
don't
kidding.
fucking like him, yeah, I'll report back.
The audio I'm listening to is free. But yeah, man. But that's the thing, though. You hear that stuff. Oh, they're selling courses, blah blah blah. Like I used to be the same thing. Like, oh, I don't. No, fuck that. I'm not doing that. But I took one and it changed my life. I took one course for $2,000 and I made that money back 100x.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely beneficial courses like that regardless of what you want to get into, but it's also having that filter we've talked about and understanding like, okay, let me look at this course. Now let me research the person that's providing that course.
Exactly.
So
Paul.
that way I'm not just giving my money to somebody
Yeah,
and
you
I'm
gotta-
not getting shit out of it.
You gotta know, and it's like in the fitness space when you talk about research, like you gotta know where the funding's coming from for the research to know
Right.
what the research is really about.
Because anyone can be a personal trainer, right? There's not like,
Very low
There's
barrier.
it's a
to
very
entry.
low. There's not like you can get certified. There's no like regulation really though. Like
There's no license.
Yeah,
process.
like I
licensure.
see
That's
like
what- that's the
people
word I was looking
popping
for.
up at Equinox. I'm a trainer. I'm like, what? You?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Saw you at the club like 2 weeks ago.
But I assume it's like real estate. To make a career, it's very difficult.
It's very difficult, and there's easier ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There are. Like I'm just in my apartment, like in b-ball shorts, talking to people in the Philippines and taking sales calls on my computer. I have a sales call at 2:00. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to make it back in time.
My
Do you have
office
Wi-Fi?
is right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you
Yeah.
want to see one live.
Yeah. Jump in there. Yeah, it's a nice little office.
But back to what we were saying about the courses and being skeptical. It's almost the same thing as chiropractic. As you guys know, my dad's a chiropractor, and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like chiropractic. I don't, yeah, there's going to be 1 or 2 out of 10 chiropractors that's a little bit weird, it's a little bit off, or they don't know what they're saying and they ruin it for the other 8 people. Same with courses, same with really anything.
Yeah, you're right. Same with anything. It's
Yeah.
like you have a couple people that make you, like my Hermosi reaction, make me think, oh, this is scammy.
Right.
Oh, this isn't real.
Yep.
Oh, they're trying to take advantage of me. But that's like, yeah, a couple people out of however many that are doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah.
oftentimes those are the people that are the loudest too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, or the ones
Yeah.
that come up the most often
Yeah.
because they just,
Grant Cardone.
right. Like whether they have figured out the algorithm or whatever it is on social media, they're
Yeah.
the ones that you just see all the time. You're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I guess what I want to know too is that this person really did it.
Yeah.
They really
Yeah.
built a gym.
Yeah.
They really profited off their gym. They've really developed systems.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, now, I mean, when I had met you the first time, I'd never taken one. Now I'm completely opposite, where I'm trigger happy on courses. Like
Yeah.
I bought a course about how to go viral. Hey, proof is in the pudding. I bought this course 6 months ago. 3 months ago, not 3 months ago, 1 month ago, I posted a video that has 4.1 million views. It's just because I'm applying this information I've used to this video. It's a $500 course.
Right. What are some components in terms of making a post be viral? Like, hey, I got to hit these couple things. I got to
Yeah.
touch on these couple things.
There's a lot, but okay. And I'm learning more about this more every day. But as you guys know, have to have a good hook. Have to have something to draw them in. Like a hook I might do is like do a video of me walking up to a homeless guy. Like, this is how I'm going to get this guy $300,000 of funding. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then we go more into the video. And you want to mention maybe a website, for example, because a bookmark is a lot more sticky. It helps a lot more in the algorithm than a like, for example. Another thing which you guys do a great job of, you guys are always in the gym. When you start the video and you guys are in the gym, it's like, all right, this is gym content. Like the reason this video I posted it has 4.1 million views, it has 2.5 years of watch time, is because I filmed the video in a vacant apartment talking about vacant apartments. And we're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, and they're sort of engaged to what I'm saying. So that's a big thing, is where you're filming actually have the background match. If I'm talking about a bank, have Chase Bank in the background.
Yeah, I've seen you do those.
Yeah, there's a bunch of small little things you can do. I'll edit the captions sometimes and change, for example, vacant apartments to bacon apartments, and then you have like 13 people being like, "Oh, bacon? What do you mean?" Haha. And then it helps with the nails now. People are just yelling at me for that.
They are yelling at you for
they are
that.
yelling.
That's all the comments,
Yeah,
dude.
I
This
know.
fucking guy's got blue nails.
From Jim in like Central Illinois. I'm like, thanks, dude.
Appreciate
Go
it,
yell at
Jimmy.
your wife in public.
So good. Who's
Every single time, bro. The
Every
same
post, right?
glasses in the Chevy Silverado. I'm like, clockwork.
fucking Jimmy in Iowa?
yeah.
Who's the comedian you posted with? You just see him on the street?
Oh my God, Chris DiStefano.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a physical therapist before he got into comedy.
Yeah. And you can tell these comics, their neurotransmitters are just like hitting. They're so sharp, dude.
Oh, yeah.
They're so sharp.
I think
Fucking
this
witty as
is
shit.
what
Yeah.
we started with. This is part of the people I love to talk to. They've mastered their craft, and yeah, their brains are just working on such a high level, like such
Yeah,
a high
man.
cylinder.
Yeah, I was walking down the street with my boy Robin, and I had just gone to the bodega. I was walking him to a girl's house. I cracked open a can of tuna walking down the street, as one does. And I'm walking down the street, and I just look up. I'm like, oh no. Like, not bad. I'm like, this is just gonna be something. And I walk up. I'm like, hey. And he started recording. He's like, this guy started walking, eating tuna fish. I'm like, oh man. He roasted me for a minute and a half straight. And that was the entire interaction. And then I left and just kept walking.
And he posted it.
Yeah. I reposted it, but yeah, it was
'Cause
hilarious.
I saw you reposted it. I was like, wait, he's the other guy's recording it, not Evan. It's just hilarious.
It's just again like the power of social media. My bodega guy calls me like Tuna Boy, and just like it comes up in random parts of my life now.
I think you got to start a separate social account
Tuna
called
Boy
Tuna Boy.
account.
Tuna Boy, yeah, yeah. Like just it's crazy, because there's 400 humans that saw that. That's I mean, how many people fit in Times Union Arena? Like
Right.
10,000?
Yeah.
So that's 40. You're telling me there's 40 stadiums
Or
full?
MVP, whatever it is.
Yeah,
now.
whatever
It's
it's
still
called.
the Pepsi, in my
baby.
head.
Let's go Riverettes.
Yeah, dude, that's true.
Yeah, it's wild.
You ever go to comedy clubs in the city or no?
I have started to go to more.
I enjoyed it. We
Yeah.
went to the Comedy Cellar right before COVID.
Oh, that's dope.
But fucking dope.
Yeah, you don't know who's gonna walk in. My
That's
boy
why
saw
it was great.
Shane Gillis and
Oh,
Andrew
man.
Schultz like 2 weeks ago.
That's
They were just
wild.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched Nikki Glazer bomb there
Oh,
hard.
really?
Bomb. She came up and we're like, okay, let's go, and just fucking bomb. But it was cool because like she's just trying shit
Yeah.
out. That's
You
all.
try it out there, you test it out, and then you go bigger. Yeah, I've seen Andrew Schultz running around. All those guys.
Yeah.
They're all in my neighborhood. Yeah.
This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Anchor and the all-new Anchor Pro. Crafted to endure the most high-performance workouts without the high cost and space requirements of a standard cable machine. Named the best portable cable machine by Men's Health Home Gym Awards, Anchor provides the full functionality of a cable machine in one small space-saving unit. Designed with user-friendliness in mind, Anchor can simply be attached to any squat rack or placed on any wall in your home gym using its intuitive sliding track mount. With up to 65 pounds of resistance, Anchor is built for high speed and controlled exercises alike, from cable presses and rows to chops and lifts. The Anchor has been a game changer for us here at CDSF, and now you can enjoy the same professional quality cable machine in your own home gym by heading over to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. Get all the benefits of a cable machine without the high cost and installation fees. Enjoy the portable luxury and space-saving performance of Anchor today by going to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 at checkout. That's anchortraining.com, promo code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Drink Alchemy. Fatigue and brain fog affect us all, destroying everything we pursue. Whether as an athlete, artist, creator, or entrepreneur, our mind holds the key to performing optimally. By combining the most potent organic nootropics found in nature, Drink Alchemy delivers sustainable boost to creativity, memory, energy, and focus in one epic beverage. Stop pumping your body full of excessive amounts of caffeine and unknown proprietary blends from other energy drinks, and get clean energy from Drink Alchemy's natural nootropics like lion's mane, L-theanine, and caffeine from green tea. Used by Olympians, D1 athletes, MMA fighters, and entrepreneurs, Drink Alchemy has become a huge part of my daily routine, making sure I'm functioning optimally during long days of coaching athletes, running CDSF, and getting in quality workouts myself. So do yourself a favor and ditch the energy drinks loaded with caffeine, other stimulants, and who knows what else, and head over to drinkalchemy.com today. Live with your mind unbound and save 10% off your order by using code CDSF at checkout. That's drinkalchemy.com, promo code CDSF for 10% off your order today. Yeah, that's part of the pluses of living in a city.
Yeah. Yeah.
You surround these people. Jay, you do comedy clubs ever or no? I feel like that's like your scene. You would enjoy it.
I mean, I go to a lot of stand-up in Troy. You're not getting anyone on the
Yeah.
Shane Gillis level, but yeah, I
He
enjoy
was
it.
just there. I mean, he's, he look at how quick he blew up.
True.
Like last year, just so that we live in such a viral world, man.
Yeah.
That's true.
That
He's
like if
got-
you go on a streak, I mean,
Yeah.
dude, when we were together, I mean, the beginning of this year, I haven't updated my website. I had 5,000 followers. Now I have 31.
Yeah. It's like,
That's it, just 31.
Yeah, 31
total.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Damn,
old.
that's a downtick, bro. No, I'm
Well,
just
that's big if you go to Asia, actually. If you go to like Shanghai or anything like that, if you tell someone you actually have 31 followers, they're like, whoa.
That's
Because
wild.
they all operate on ManyChat.
Oh, okay.
They think you're famous if you have a total of 31 followers.
That's fine.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like the older person Mike like shits on this stuff, but there is so much value to it. It's in this world in terms of having a presence online, even us operating a business. It's like it matters.
It depends on your goals.
Right.
If you're like, yo, I'm good right here, we're doing great revenue, I'm cool with my clients, and there's really no reason. But for me personally, my long term is, I'm seeing all these different deals come at me for all these different industries. What I do, I'm not selling the gold. I'm selling the ice picks. I'm not selling, I'm not teaching you how to grow marijuana. I'm selling you the irrigation systems. So I'm supplementary to all these different business owners and helping them get access to money. And it's a great position to be in because you can see all these different businesses, and like eventually I'll partner with these people and do other things. And I want to be able to leverage my name and likeness. That's why I'm building it right now.
Right. Yeah, and what you're doing is good initial networking with these people and building trust.
Right.
Building trust what matters.
Right.
You still a basketball guy? You watch a lot?
I can still dunk, bro.
Oh yeah.
Still dunk?
Yeah. On a 10-foot hoop. Yeah. People don't think it's cap, but I'll show you videos.
I mean, listen, I believe it.
Yeah. a little bit, man. It's like business is my sport. Like I have been tuning into honestly the women's more than the men's.
It was just in Albany. Last
Yeah.
weekend.
I looked at the Amtrak tickets this morning. It was like $160, but it was actually I just had chosen 2 tickets.
Yeah.
So like damn, women's tournament really spiking these prices. But yeah, it's dope. It's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. You're still a Celtics guy?
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. But I can't. It's a $1 trillion industry, right? And you see what's going on with Javante Porter or whatever with a betting.
Yep.
He bet on himself. It's a $1 trillion industry. I just know they're not leaving it all to chance, especially when it comes to the NBA playoffs. I know that there's like some money behind it, like swaying it in one direction or the other, and I don't love that.
The gambling's a crazy thing, dude.
It's so intertwined.
It's intertwined. You see the Ohtani thing?
Yeah.
It's so, because it's legal now in most states or in all states.
Like, for example, do you think they're really going to let a series just go 4 games when they could stretch it out to 7 or at least 6?
Conspiracy Mike says no
let's
way.
hear pyramids.
Yeah, aliens, pyramids. Mike says no way. Just like, they're just playing sports. Mike says, yeah, sure. It just goes to 4. Nothing else matters. Well, you think about, there was that documentary on Netflix about the referee.
Donahue.
It's like, look at that
It's so
impact.
easy to sway a game.
Well, that's what I was going to say is like it's been going on. It's always been going on.
Right.
Like there's always been something behind the scenes of like people trying to fix games, whether or not it worked or not is a whole other story.
Right.
But like, I mean, you have the Black Sox.
I mean, that's way back in
Yeah,
the
it's
day.
retro, man.
That's
Like,
way back.
Pyramids.
you got Pete Rose. Like it's
Yeah.
like this stuff's like the difference is now if you're that dumb, it's easier to get caught because you're literally doing it online and your name and everything is associated with it, with like your social security and everything.
What did the
So
basketball guy do? He bet on
supposedly
himself?
he bet.
He did bet because he's still under.
He's under investigation for
No,
betting props or something.
Oh, the recent guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a guy in a 2A player, barely in the league, throwing like 50 grand on the under for himself.
That's what the rumor is, that he was doing that and that he like.
So for himself to
He
not do
has
good.
like discords of trading Bitcoin and Forex. Like he's into that type of scheme. So like he's gonna be found guilty for sure.
The Donahue thing was he was like tied in with the mob
Right,
and
yeah.
giving them inside info.
Yeah,
right.
And
Right.
And like he was trying to influence the game with calls, but again, like how many calls can I guess if you make a critical call right at the end of a game,
no, what
it
it
could,
was
but the guy still got to make a shot.
No, what it was is they have meetings in the morning and they're like, all right, we're going to call this game this way because we're in this city. I have to do a few different calls this way to make up for the previous call. And he would leak that information of how they're going to call the game to the mob.
Yeah.
And then they would place their bets based on that information. Because he couldn't miss that many calls because eventually they'd catch on to him. He was just leaking the information 12 hours before.
yeah, I'd like to think that doesn't happen, but I think you're probably naive to think some of that doesn't go down behind the scenes.
And it just helps me work harder. I'm like, I could be watching this game that might be fixed, or I could focus on my business.
Yeah, I've tuned out of sports pretty much 100%, just because I got other shit to do.
Talk to me real quick about like prospects around here. Like what any like big names that are going to make a splash?
Big names around here right now. Well, you have a lot of guys in the minor leagues now for baseball. You have like Luke Gold, who was a Boston spot guy, who's with the Tigers. Like he'll probably work his way up.
One of Pierce's friends is with the Tigers.
Yeah, Brendan White. We had a kid in the gym in high school, Evan Fox, who's with Stony Brook right now. He's a draft guy this year in baseball.
He's really fast.
Yeah, so in baseball, those are kind of the people. The best athlete we've had in here in all of our years, this girl Anna Gold. She plays softball at Duke.
Hell yeah.
And now, but this is the guys versus the girls difference. If she was a guy, she'd be getting
Drafted.
signed for multi-millions
Right.
next year. But she's in women's sports, and unfortunately, it's like she'll probably play some Team USA and
Yeah.
get some sponsorships, and that's going to be that.
Greg Ferrone He's got a chance to get
He's at
drafted.
Alabama.
He's at Alabama. He's having a really good year.
For what
this year.
sport?
Baseball.
Yeah.
He's got a chance to get drafted. He's doing well, way better this year than he was last year, so that's good.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good.
There's a couple people locally that could be making some splashes, but mostly with us, it's like baseball. We're gonna know most of those guys more than basketball or anything like that. I'm trying to think of anybody else.
Yeah, those are the big ones that I can think of. So kind of going back to where this all started, if somebody wants to have an opportunity to get like the 0% money from a bank, do all banks offer this?
Yeah, so banks need to get you to go to a bank. Every single bank's the same other than like the flavor of the lollipop they give you. So you can go to, I think there's a site called ibank.net or Bank Branch Locator. You can find what banks are in your area, and then you can just research what banks give 0% interest promo periods to leverage it. Some banks don't do it, and we don't work with those banks. Some banks will give you 0% interest for 18 months. And like if you get $50,000 and you have for 18 months and you can't flip it into something profitable, then like maybe you shouldn't like work with us.
Right, or do that. And you're choosing a bank based on what? Just who has the better offer that's going to fit
who
what
is
you
the
want.
best promo period.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Like,
are they constantly changing?
a little bit. Banks aren't the most elusive, they're kind of like slow, fat machines. So like they sometimes their lending requirements will change, but generally speaking, I know what I'm going to get for an approval.
Right. And then, okay, so to get access to this, though, you said, we talked about it being good to separate your personal finances, it's a must, and your business finances. Do you need an LLC or some type of business entity to be able to get your money like this?
Yeah, so that's like the issue I see a lot of people make. They're like, all right, I want funding, I'm going to start an LLC. So one, they're going to name it wrong. Number two, if you start an LLC and you go to the bank the next day, what is the bank going to think? Yo, you started your business yesterday. I'm not going to give you any money. So you can go to this, there's a bunch of different companies, but I go to WyomingAgedCorps.com, and you can buy an aged LLC. It might not be the name of what you want, but it doesn't really matter the name of your LLC.
So you're buying an existing LLC?
You're buying an existing company
that
and
what
getting
somebody has put up there for sale?
Yeah. There's like a database of LLCs. You buy it there, you then create an EIN associated with that LLC, and then you have a company that's been around for a year and a half, 2 years.
And you're just acquiring a name in the LLC, no finances, nothing associated with it.
Because you're getting a new EIN associated with you. You're just getting the age.
And banks will see that even though it's a new EIN, they're seeing the age of the LLC, and that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So that'd be a move if somebody, they need this money.
Let's say they're going to buy a food truck and they don't have the money. They would buy an aged LLC through Wyoming Aged Corps. I think a regular LLC is like $200. Buy an aged one is like $700. So it's an extra $500. And then you get the LLC, and then you could fund that LLC in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Right, where you're not getting funding if you just started your LLC last week.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's so much to it. It's like you can get your money. Money's out there. You can get it so many different ways.
It's the most plentiful thing, but you just have to surround yourself with people who think like that and who are getting it. And you're like, oh, okay,
Right. That's like part of what we talked about. People that get stuck in life and they live at this kind of flat space. Well, I make this much money and this costs this and this costs that. You're like, of course, but like you could make this much more.
Or you could completely change your life
Yes.
in like a year or 6 months.
But it's not easy.
It's not easy, but at the same time, it is. Like, think about it. You could have just been born in a third world country, and that's the most you're able to ever do. We're here. We're all, bright young men. We can really tackle anything we really want to do, and that's where it starts, is the vision.
Right.
It's not going to be easy, of course, because anyone would do it, but there's never been more resources.
Right.
Never been more information.
Yeah, that's a good point. With the internet and just with access to people, to
Right.
Hermosi.
Yeah.
We have access to Hermosi.
You love him.
I'm going to look up more about him at some point in time.
You should, man. You should.
That I will. I'll take your word.
I'd
dude.
give you my copy if it wasn't the only book I had.
Don't worry. I'll delve into him. At
$100
some
million
point.
Leads. That's the name of it.
It's about leads, man.
Yeah.
Give us the leads, Paul. We want leads.
Yeah, we definitely want leads.
We want leads, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. No, I appreciate you doing this again.
Yeah, no
Our
sweat.
Part 2.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Part 2.
This is fun. Chatham guy on.
What is the title of this chapter in your life, Paul?
Oh, fuck.
You've been quiet today, man.
I don't know what my chapter is.
That's okay.
It's an interesting question.
It's tough to beat Back to the Future.
That
It
was
is.
awesome.
It is. I don't know if I can beat that one. I don't know. I might still be living in that chapter.
Are we in the same page or a different chapter?
Oh, different page. Different page of the chapter.
Cool. And yours was
selflessness.
Yeah.
That's mine right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
which is good, man. Anything you want to plug before we jump off?
Instagram, Bowery BOI, like Soldier Boy, Bowery Boy. I talk about finance, life, New York City stuff. A lot of Florida stuff recently too. I'm kind of there a lot.
Florida's interesting, right?
Florida's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a vibe. It's good to like just get some vitamin D and run around, and people aren't like yelling at you for everything.
That's true. New York, that's all you're getting.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting, man. There's a lot of people like doing a lot of interesting things down there, and like in business as well. Like almost like New York City in the '80s. That's like seems to be the new hot spot. It's like
So
Tampa.
the mafia.
Look, I mean, I don't know everyone in Miami, but there definitely is going to be some of that when there's so much volatility for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will. Hey,
I'm not a crypto guy. I'm not a crypto guy.
We are not talking crypto. We will talk to aliens making the pyramids, but no
Hell yeah.
crypto.
No
Hell
crypto.
yeah.
We'll
Ahead of
draw,
your time.
we'll draw the line at the aliens and the pyramids.
Beautiful.
All right, Ev, hey, appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah,
This is a blast
likewise.
again.
All right.
All right, peace, everybody. Catch you next time.
Peace.